It is officially time for the last panel of the day. These ladies don't need no introduction. We've been talking about soccer all day, and how can we not include the women who have pushed forward the sport in this country and paved the way even for the men's success. I have goosebumps just thinking about the conversations we're going to have today. We've got Christine Sinclair, Janine Becky, Quinn, and Melissa Tancredi. So please give the warmest welcome to Canada's women's national team. Welcome, welcome, ladies. Christine, I think you're scared of me. Purposely took the furthest seat. Now, this is always my favorite panel because these women have so much energy, so many great stories to tell, to share, inspiration. The list goes on and on. So, a lot of stories. I was hearing backstage. You know, you never know. We need to hear the secrets of what it's like to be on this team. Let's talk about Alberta soccer, seeing all of these young kids here wanting to grow the sport. Melissa, I mean, as someone who's been a part of the growth of Canada soccer for so long, what does it feel like seeing a room full of people in Calgary wanting to grow the sport?
I mean, I feel like, number one, this province has always been one of our favorites to play in. I feel like the soccer community here is very strong. A lot of great teams here, a pro team coming up here on the women's side, so that's exciting. Woo! And yeah, I feel like the endless support here is going to be great to play in front of, and I feel like they're growing the game properly here, and happy to be here.
Christine, you've had an incredible transformative career over the last 20 or so years, and you've seen the growth of Canada soccer from the very beginning. In what ways have you seen it evolve on the women's side, both in Canada and globally?
Yeah, well, when I joined the national team, honestly, no one cared. We finished fourth in a World Cup, and yeah, I mean, it was just, yeah, you know what I mean.
You really upset the crowd now.
Sorry about that for those that cared. But now, just internationally, the opportunities that are available for young girls, these young girls in the crowd can now dream of not only playing for Canada, but for playing professionally, whether that's in North America, in Europe. Just the opportunities are so much bigger and better now. And like Melissa said, with a professional league coming here to Canada, I think it's going to just continue to grow the game. And yeah, just everything's going to change. And I can't wait to see these youngsters be the future of the national team.
And Janine, we do have to, round of applause for all of you. I was saying that earlier today. It's crazy to think that some people in this very room could be on this stage one day. And we do have to recognize there is still a long way to go for the sport, especially on the women's side. And we're going to dig into that in a few minutes. But can you talk about the positive experiences and the positive growth that you've seen throughout your career?
Yeah, I mean, I think this World Cup this summer was a great example of how far the game has come. You have people from all over the world traveling all the way to Australia and New Zealand to see these wonderful athletes compete. And I think it can be overwhelming to think about how much further we have to go sometimes. And then you have to kind of zoom back in and see how much is going on. And just like these two have mentioned, it's amazing that professional women's soccer is finally coming to Canada. And for us on the national team, it's been a long time coming. It's always a conversation that it's wild that Canada doesn't have a women's professional league when we've had as much success as we have. So, I try and keep my blinders on a little bit when I think about the growth, because it can be frustrating in some respects to know still how far we need to go, but the progress has been incredible.
And Quinn, just building off that, I would love if you could speak about some of the new opportunities and new challenges that you think this generation of soccer players have in Canada.
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting time. As you know, everyone mentioned having the Canadian League that's up and coming. I think that's such a unique opportunity for young players. They can get into the professional game earlier if they want to. You know, they might not even go to university. And so I think that's an exciting time for players to be able to not only see people they look up to, but then also get those opportunities when they're older. And so I think it's exciting that you have young players getting all of this exposure. You're seeing our games more on television. You're able to go to them. I think it's just getting those experiences is so worthwhile.
Melissa, you've been a part of some of this team's most memorable moments. Can you pinpoint one moment in your career or that you've seen that you think could be a point of inflection, a turning point for the growth of the sport, whether it was a national event, an international event? At what moment did you think, oh, this could be big?
It's kind of funny you say that because I feel like there were moments and then nothing changed. I feel like, 2012, amazing moment, nothing really changed. 2016, back-to-back medals, never before done, nothing really changed. But I think what really changed things is that gold medal in the Tokyo Olympics. I feel like, we not only, yeah, absolutely.
Come on.
Unbelievable. I mean, we not only changed the landscape of soccer in Canada, but we also proved to the world that we are the number one team in this world and we can compete with anyone. And for me to be a part of the staff and to watch these players do the darn thing and something that I dreamed of was pretty amazing. So I think that was absolutely my moment that stuck out to me.
And Christine, we're obviously coming off a record-breaking FIFA World Cup and so many incredible moments, as you mentioned, Olympic gold medalists, no biggie. But there is still work to be done. So what do you think is the main thing that needs to change? What is one thing that you have identified throughout your career that is missing for women's soccer to continue to grow other than a women's professional league?
Okay, because I was going to say a women's professional league. So that would be in Canada. But I think globally is exposure, investment, and opportunities. I'm a firm believer that every opportunity that a little boy gets, whether it's in Canada, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in Asia, a young girl should get those same opportunities. And for soccer, unfortunately, around the world, that's not the case. It's becoming, like it's slowly growing, but you look at the coaching that young boys get, whether it's through academies, just the systems for women, they're not in place yet. And then investment, I mean, you look at the prize money for FIFA, it's not even close to being equal. So we've got a hill to climb, but I think one of the things that women's players are most proud of is the fight, and we won't give up until everything's equal.
Have you found that people are receptive when you mention we need more investment, we need more support, or does it still feel like an uphill battle trying to convince people to believe in women's soccer in Canada?
I mean, it's always an uphill battle. It seems like owners for men's sports are willing to lose millions and millions of dollars, but are scared to invest in the future of women's sports. And I think what this past World Cup has shown, and the Euros from last year, that if you give the public the opportunity to come watch, if you give the public the opportunity to watch it on television, people will. And we just need that exposure and people willing to put women's sports out there like they are with men's.
And Janine, you've played all around the world, but as Christine mentioned, a professional league in Canada is necessary. What would that do for the sport? Why is it so important?
It's going to be incredible. It's going to change lives. I think it already is. I mean, Christine mentioned it earlier. There's young people in this audience that will play in this league, and that is so exciting. And I think it's so heartwarming to be here today to see all of you. I think sometimes because we are so far away so often, thankfully for us back in the States now, but you lose sight of how many people love and care about the sport in this country because unfortunately we just haven't been here enough to see how much you guys love to watch the game. So Christine, hit the nail on the head. If you give people the opportunity to watch this game, to consume the sport, they will. And it's been just so incredible. Every time we get to play in Canada is like all of our favorite games. I'm sure you could go down the line and a lot of those memories would come from playing in front of amazing Canadian audiences. And so to be able to have, young people's idols, professional favorite players playing in their backyards every single weekend is just gonna, I mean, it's gonna go from here to here. And I can't wait to see the development of the national team, of youth teams, and to be able to be in that conversation about domestic league. It's so exciting. I wish we could start now, but we're really, really excited to see the growth of that league happen.
And Quinn, you've become such an inspiring role model for Canadian players, but also people all around the world. I would love to know what that means to you, to be able to share your story and to be such an inspiring person on and off the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just an honor. I think for me to give people the opportunity to see themselves in sport, I think that's first and foremost why I show up every single day. And so, I think it's been, a gift to be able to do that every single day, do the sport I love, and to be able to inspire people to continue in sport where maybe traditionally they haven't felt like they've had a place. Because that's why we play sports. We play to connect with, our friends and our family, to have fun seeing what our bodies can do and just to get active outside. And so I think getting back to the roots and keeping everyone involved is just so important.
And Melissa, I mean, when it comes to young girls, it is the highest dropout rate when it comes to youth sports. And it's sometimes because, again, we don't see those same opportunities supporting our girls. What words of encouragement do you have to the girls in this audience that dream of playing professional soccer and maybe will run into so many obstacles that each one of you had to face, and you had to be stubborn to be seated where you are?
Yeah, I think what I can tell you is that people on this stage right here are working really hard to give you the opportunities we did not have. And that is really encouraging. I mean, I'm very proud of all three of these players that they've put their heart on the line and put their names on the line to get you guys a league in this country so that you can play in front of your friends and family and you can have all the opportunities, maybe not end up on the national team, but maybe not calling it quits at the age of 14, which is so sad to even think of because you're not even close to any bit of your prime, which is 34, they say. It's a lie. But honestly, this is going to be a very exciting time for soccer, and I feel like all of you need to know how much work is put in behind the scenes. They are so tired. They look great, but they're so tired. They do so much for this sport, and they're doing so much for you to get you on that pitch professionally, hopefully.
And can we talk Olympics? Congratulations on qualifying. As reigning champs, Janine, is there more pressure? Is there less pressure? How is this experience different going in knowing that you're already on top?
I don't know what it is with this team about Olympics, but I don't hate it. It's just a thing. We haven't figured it out for ourselves, but it's amazing to be going into a tournament as reigning champions. I think that's a first for all of us, and there's definitely that target on your back, but I think the players felt that at the World Cup. They felt that post gold medal, and if anything, I think it's just challenged us to face some areas maybe in our games that we didn't have to before. All the best teams in the world have had these experiences, and so to kind of, we love that underdog mentality. We've rode that train for so long, and I think for the first time we can honestly say that we go into most games as the favorite, and there is pressure with that, but it's also, it's so cliche, but cliches are cliche for a reason because they're true. The pressure is a privilege, and it's such a privilege to be able to represent all of you on the international stage and to do it at the Olympics, which for any young athlete, whatever sport, is the pinnacle of your career. It's the event everyone wants to be at, and so I think we take so much pride in representing all of you at every international competition, but there's just something different about the Olympics and this team. So first job done, we qualified. There's a lot of work to do before Paris in 24, but hope to see all of you in France for the gold medal game that we're going to play in at the end of summer. So we're excited, but lots of work to be done.
And Quinn, how does the mindset change, again, going in as reigning champs and the training leading towards that? Do you feel like a little bit more confidence going into the games now that you have that gold medal?
Yeah, I think so. I think, lucky for us, the people on stage, we've had a lot of experience at the Olympics, so we really know how grueling of a tournament it can be with quick turnarounds between games. It really is a beast of its own, but luckily we've had a lot of experience. But I think also we have a lot of new players on our team that are going to be coming into Paris, and so it's getting them really quickly in the rhythm of what that tournament can look like, which I think will be a fun, unique challenge. But with the confidence bit, that's one of the ways you gain confidence is by your past experiences. And so lucky for us, we've had some really great past experiences at the Olympics, and I think that will give us a quiet confidence to lean on during those difficult times.
How many people remember Christine's hat trick against the States? Yeah? Olympics. I remember us playing against Germany in 2016. This one had a brace, and I don't think I've ever seen so much passion come out of a person. In that moment, I was sitting on the bench, and I was like, oh my God. And it was like I was fangirling my own teammate. It was incredible. But all of my favorite memories are Olympic memories. Hopefully, no, that one doesn't count. But hopefully we can make those same memories at the World Cup. That's obviously the dream. But the Olympics is like our thing. So I think we all expect to go back and win a gold medal again.
And every Olympics, we see a breakout star, we see a new name, a new talented player. Christine, I would love to know, looking forward to 2024, are there any up-and-coming players now that haven't had their Olympic debut that you think everyone should keep an eye out on?
Oh, I hate being asked this question because I hate putting pressure on youngsters.
So maybe you don't have to.
But the name is.
Okay, two come to mind. One is not like super young, but is new to the team, Chloe Lacasse. Yeah. Just one of those like later bloomers and has come on and just completely killed it. Just scored a banger a couple days ago for Arsenal. And it kills me to put pressure on a young player, but Jade Rose, for those of you that don't know her, is just going to be an absolute stud for the national team for years to come. Just watch out for her.
All right, now as promised during the last panel, we do have a special prize pack thanks to our friends at Maple Lodge Farms. So the way that this is going to happen is you're going to have to be the first person to stand up when I ask the trivia question. It does get competitive, so I'm going to need all of you to be very arbitrary. And I know I can't see that far, so I need your help. It's going to be a very difficult question, but the first person to stand up, our volunteer will come up to you, and if you have the right answer, you will be the winner. Are we ready? I can't hear you. Are we ready? Woo! All right. In what country did the Canadian women's national team
Whoa, she knows the answer.
Let's hear the answer.
play their first ever game in history? No, I'm kidding. Where did they become Olympic champions? Ooh, it's country, and you need to stand up.
Japan.
Japan! Congratulations. It was a very cool prize pack, too. I'm kind of jealous. So now we're going to open up the stage for some audience questions. You obviously have four incredible, talented legends from soccer in this room. It is your one opportunity to ask those burning questions, those funny questions. So again, just raise your hand, and our volunteer will come find you. Do we have any questions in the audience? All right, we've got one right over there.
5 questions. Here we go.
A lot of questions I can anticipate.
Do I have to stand up? Oh, okay. I want to ask Christine, at what age did you start lifting weights in addition to soccer? I asked Janine.
You were the one that was asking about lift weighting in there too, right?
I asked Janine. I didn't ask you.
Well, you were asking what my favorite exercise was.
Yeah, I asked that. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember. Maybe like 13 or 14.
Prove it.
Probably not correct. I don't know, but
Well,
somewhere around then.
and the importance of it for kids, supplementing their training.
You should probably ask Tank. She's the medical expert.
I thought you were going to say because I have the most muscles.
Well, you also have that.
You should probably ask me. Look at my biceps. Look at hers.
Look at all of ours.
If you want to know when she started lifting weights, I have yet to see it. I'm kidding. She's great. She's very strong, actually.
You want to see those calves?
No.
Yeah.
Cut glass, those calves. When I would say to lift weights, I mean, I would say 16, 17 would be a nice age. You're going to get it in college or university anyways. I would say more movement patterns would be better in the beginning. I don't think just jumping into lifting weights blind is a good idea. But yeah, movement patterns first. I would say 16, 17 would be the prime age to start slowly learning technique of proper weightlifting. And now Sinky will show you her biceps. There they are.
All right, do we have any more questions?
Yeah.
Oh,
Winner, winner.
How did you get so good?
That's the best question ever. A lot of practice and making sure that we have fun all the time because it's about having fun. Good question.
so cute. All right, more questions?
Is there any skills I should work on to get better at?
What are your weaknesses? No? Sorry.
Oh, I guess it depends on the
That's it.
position.
Yeah. What position are you? If you say goalkeeper, we're out.
Striker.
Thank God. Go on, Janine, tell them.
Skills. You know, my mom taught me something when I was young. And she said, everything you do with your right foot, do with your left. So I'm going to say that. If you're right-footed, make sure you do the reps with your left, because in front of goal, you never know where the ball's going to bounce. It might ricochet, and you have to be ready to be able to put it in with your dominant foot or your kickstand.
Yeah, I also think like don't be afraid to try stuff in training. I know at times you like want to impress your teammates or your coach, so maybe you don't do the drill with the left foot because the right foot's more comfortable, but like that's the time where you're going to learn, so challenge yourself because that's where you're going to have the biggest growth.
We've all had our fair share of embarrassing training moments. Most of them caught on camera, unfortunately.
Any more questions? We're going to be here all day.
Hi. I just want to ask, what is the biggest lesson you've learned on or off the field throughout your career?
I really like that question, and I feel like we should get all four of you to answer that one.
Whoa. Biggest lesson, I feel like my parents should be here. Okay, so for me, I would say you play a role no matter what, if you're playing or you're not playing. I feel like if you're a starter, you're a finisher. I don't think I learned this until after I retired, now being on staff, but every single player plays a role. I don't care if you play 1 minute, 0 minutes, 90 plus minutes. I think that's the biggest lesson. Every single player literally has a role in the team that can make and break an Olympics, a World Cup. So that would be my biggest lesson, is just whatever role you're given, take it, be the best at it, and it always changes. So that I would say that would be my lesson.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
We should just...
Oh, that was it.
We'll leave it at that.
Just one lesson.
Great job, Melissa.
That was
I'm
great.
the oldest, so very wise.
The most wise.
Any more questions?
Who were like some role models that you looked up to when you were younger?
Christine Sinclair. No, just. I loved a player, Charmaine Hooper, who was on the national team.
Hey!
Janine?
I pointed to these two.
No,
All right,
I'm not
more-
going to say Mia. No.
More questions?
So once again, we're playing Brazil like we do every year. What can we expect for this game?
It's turned into a press conference.
Something different?
They do have a new coach.
That's true.
so-
We always play really well against Brazil, so that's positive.
I think you're going to see a lot of I'm going to answer this. You're going to see a lot of new players, a lot of it's just a fresh look to our team. I feel like I feel like a lot of players haven't had the opportunity to get some minutes in, so I think that you're going to see new players get more minutes. I think you're off of, like a really good game in Toronto, amazing crowd. So we're riding that high. I think you're going to see these players rejuvenated and excited to play in another home game, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And obviously 2 wins, easy peas.
And before we get into some more questions, I do think there's one that we haven't really touched on that is really important, and it's that the fact that there are so many girls in this audience that do want to follow in your footsteps. What suggestions do you have for someone who aspires to be a professional in terms of steps they can take? Like step 1, step 2, I know there's college, I know there's like professional development, but how would you lead them towards a brighter future in soccer?
I don't have the exact answer for that. It's been a while since I've been playing in Canada, but for any youngster out there, practice, practice, practice. I'm sure all 4 of us grew up with a soccer ball like attached to our feet. And then I would have to say if you're good enough, someone will see you. You know what I mean? So whether it's some obscure tournament in the middle of nowhere or a giant tournament, if you perform, someone will see you and they will help you advance to the next level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I also think it's like creating your own path, right? Some people may follow a really traditional path that's set out by, Canada Soccer of what maybe that looks like, and someone might follow a totally different path. So if one door closes, find the next door. Your path might be different from other people on the national team. It might be different from the other players around you, but there's still opportunities to look for.
I was going to say that, but I'll just say I think when you watch the women's national team play or the men's national team or whoever, your expectation is that those players were always the best player on their team, and that's not always the case. I know for myself, I wasn't always on the top team. I developed really late. You look at someone like Chloe Lacasse, who has been one of our best players over the last year and, just has started to make her mark on the national team, and I think she's 29. So it's never too late, and you're never not good enough. And I think that that's what you need to remember is it's not always making the top team. It's not always being the best player. And comparison can be a really ugly thing. So we could go around our entire team and go through all of the different paths that we've taken. But that's what makes you the player that you are is your experiences and your journey. And it's definitely not always uphill. So just remember that there are always setbacks and there are always teams that you won't make and coaches that, sometimes won't believe in you. But that's the journey that we've all taken.
And I think Vanessa didn't start playing competitive soccer till she was 14. So you youngsters out there, don't stress, okay? Everyone develops at a different pace.
All right, any more questions from the audience?
Love that.
So, the girls won the Olympic Games in 2020. What do you think was the main difference between that team from the rest of the other teams playing in the games? What makes you so better than the other ones?
Go on, guys.
I think for us, when we were going into that tournament, we tried to see what little gains we could make. And so we knew, for example, penalty kicks were really important for an Olympic Games once you get into the knockout rounds. So probably different from other teams, we were practicing our strategy meticulously of what that would look like when we went into penalty kicks, and we would practice at the end of each session. And so I think those little things that you can do, those 1 or 2% really made a difference for us.
I think it's also hard to enjoy being at a tournament every day because they're long, they're hard, you're never really recovered, you're kind of just tired all the time. And as much as I love everyone on our team, we get sick of each other just as you do with your siblings or your family. So as much as we love each other, it's difficult to be around the same 40 people I'm looking at you. Not her. And so finding ways to keep it fun and light and enjoyable. And I think our team has a really special ability to just laugh at things sometimes. And, it was in the middle of a pandemic. We were eating with plexiglass between each other and just seeing the joy in those moments and laughing about it. I think that really sets our team apart as well as we know how to have fun.
All right, more questions.
Do you still carry around your maple syrup?
I mean, personally, no, but as a team, everywhere we travel to, we bring our own maple syrup. Absolutely.
I remember one time we asked the breakfast food, and you said pancakes and syrup. Very healthy diet.
Yeah.
Very
Game day breakfast.
game day.
Yeah, before games, we always eat pancakes. So
Real maple syrup.
Team Canada. More questions. I find that this area is very excited.
How do you find like the balance between who you are as an athlete and who you are as a person? Because yeah, you were talking on Snacks about like how your injury has given you a lot of perspective, and like when you're forced to stop, everything changes. So how do you balance those two parts of your life?
Yeah, I mean, I never wish injury upon anyone, and it's definitely been a struggle, but I think there have been very few difficult days and a lot of perspective gained, and it's kind of helped me find my joy again for the game, and I really, really miss being able to play. So I know for me, when I get back, I'm just going to have so much more gratitude for what I do. But I think life in general, especially soccer, when you get to our level, is really all about balance. And what's so special about our environment is, and I don't know, it started long before I was on the team, but the people in our environment just allow you to be yourself 100% unapologetically, and that's really valued in our team. And I definitely have not experienced that elsewhere, not in a bad way, just there's a really special chemistry about our group and a very non-judgmental capacity where everyone comes as they are, and we have a really special ability to come together, but it's, you know, a team of 23, however many individuals. And so for me, I think it's just everyone having their life outside of that environment and enjoying that, and it being very different from person to person. And then I think that's what's so incredible about a team and what's so amazing about team sport. And I think that's why we all do it, is just that connection, and being able to do that. And I know for me, injury can be very isolating. I've spent a lot of time on my own, but I'm really grateful for amazing teammates that I can come back to and bring myself, whatever I am that day. I know I'm not always a joy to be around, but these people get to deal with me on my worst and my best days, and that's what's so special about a team, is we get to experience the lows and the highs together.
So we've got a little over 5 minutes left. We do have to start wrapping up, but let's get a few more questions.
So what teams have you guys played for before you guys' names became so big?
What was the last one?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
What teams did you guys play for before you guys' names became so big?
like club teams in Canada. I started at North Toronto Soccer Club.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I started at the South Burnaby Metro Club. Woo!
I was the Burlington Sting.
I grew up in the U.S. Sorry.
No clubs there? What's your club? What's your club team?
Real Colorado. They're
Oh,
great.
never heard of him.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, next question.
After a tough loss, how do you guys hype yourself up for your next game, basically?
That's a good question, yeah.
Look, we're all pretty bad losers, I'd say. If I'm being honest. No, but when we lose, we're individually upset. We're upset as a team. And I think our coaching staff does a pretty good job of giving us like 24 hours to feel that. And then we're also motivated to improve that. That's when we start to dig in and dive into like the details of the game, and we'll all watch the game again, and we do like unit work, and before you know it, you're focusing on the next game, what you could do to improve. And I don't know, for me, it just naturally shifts from the past to the next game. You know what I mean? And we pride ourselves on, like, first of all, not losing, but definitely not losing twice in a row. So yeah, we feel sorry for whoever we're playing against next.
Any more questions?
Oh, they shut your mic off.
There we go.
Okay. Yes, assuming a player has the technical, physical capabilities and abilities, how do you find those opportunities to expose your skills and brand yourself to find a professional soccer club?
Did you say Instagram?
How do you get exposure? I mean, these
Not
days it seems like
Instagram.
Instagram. I've seen a lot of highlight reels. Yeah, that's a hard one. I feel like, honestly, just, I hate to say it, but getting to know the right people, for me, would be what would your pathway wanting to be if it's going to the States, is getting on a team that's traveling to the US in big tournaments, getting exposure in front of scouts, doing any sort of events or soccer events that they have, you know, a bunch of scouts in Canada coming to watch. It's hard because there's a lot more players now. It's very different than when I grew up. That's for sure, and it's way more saturated. But it's getting in front of the right eyes, and exactly what Quinny said. The opportunities will be there. It might not be the standard pathway, but you know, you might end up going to just school. You've chosen just school, but in the end, you get chosen from University of Manitoba, wherever Desi went. I think that's where she went. You know, like, and her pathways, no one would have guessed that would have happened. So I would say it's just, you know, if it doesn't happen when you're a kid, if you don't get noticed right away, just continue your passion and things will happen for you if you perform.
I think I see the Project 8 shirt back there. Let's give it up for Project 8.
Yes.
Yeah, Diana Matheson. Love it. I think that's going to be a really incredible way for young people to be seen, is the academies that these teams will create. And eventually, it's going to be really amazing for those teams to have homegrown players, young players that have played for that club for their entire lives. I think that's always really special to see homegrown players make it in their city. And I think the Project 8 pathway is going to create so much more opportunity for young players to be seen, to be put in positions where they're part of a program that can take them to the professional level.
And something that Tommy Wheeldon Jr. did say earlier today in one of the panels is that there is a Cavalry FC summer camp and that they have professional players and scouts and obviously himself watching. And, you know, as Christine said, someone will find you if you are good enough. So that is obviously another local Calgary opportunity. Let's go in and do 3 more questions.
I'm going to ask something more lighthearted. What type of ice cream flavor best describes your personality?
Ooh, I would like to choose for you.
Wait, yeah, Melissa.
I think Melissa's going to give us flavors for each of us.
Okay.
And why?
And why? Find me later. I'm going to go Quinny's and mint chocolate, you know, like... You know, like subtle.
Do I either love it or you hate it?
Yeah, no. I mean, I hate it personally, but I'm just saying it's a subtle flavor, but it packs a little deliciousness, you know? Like, yeah.
Okay.
It's very sophisticated flavor, I feel like. I feel like smart people eat mint chocolate. Right? See? Smart people. Agree. Janine. I'm going to give Janine cotton candy.
I hate cotton candy.
I love cotton candy. Okay. Lighthearted.
Bubbly.
Very many colors, many hats.
What's
Wears
the
many
downside?
hats. There's no downside to cotton candy. I mean, the sugar rush a bit, downside, but...
So there's a crash.
Yeah, there's a crash. I mean, after you talk to Janine for an hour, you're like, I need a nap, but that's it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but I'm full and happy. Sinky. I feel like Sinky's like a classic Rocky Road, you know? Like something your parents love to indulge in. But you know what? If you introduce me to Rocky Road when I'm a child, I like Rocky Road. And
It's
classic.
a Canadian icon.
Yeah.
Flavor.
Legendary. I feel like you can't go wrong with Rocky Road.
What are you?
Now you each have to give Melissa a flavor.
I know what I am, but go ahead, tell me. Don't be scared. Don't say sorbet though.
Sorbet's not ice cream.
Good.
Okay, this is going to be cheesy. My favorite ice cream flavor, Jamocha almond fudge from Baskin Robbins. I'm going to give Tank that because she's one of my favorite people I've ever met. Oh boy.
Chocolate fudge and Rocky Road
And
embrace.
just like full of surprises.
Yes. What did you say, Jamocha?
Jamocha, you should try it.
I'll try it. Never even heard of that.
And what was your self?
I was going to say vanilla bean. Well, but I like Jamocha better.
You are not
Almond
vanilla.
fudge.
I'm not vanilla bean?
No.
Far too boring.
Way too
for you.
calm, I think.
Calm is not the word
Packs
I
a
would
punch
use.
as well.
All right, 2 more questions.
I'm gonna ask something more lighthearted too. Do you guys watch Ted Lasso? And if so, who's your favorite character from Ted Lasso?
I love Jamie. Love Jamie. Jamie Tart. Love his hair.
Really pulls on the heart muscles.
Oh, I love Jamie. He's a good guy. The who? Oh, Rebecca.
Rebecca's my favorite.
Oh, can you? I want Rebecca too.
Boss.
And Kile. Oh my God, you like him? Who's
Don't
Rebecca?
say that,
Right hand man guy. The glasses. Higgins.
Higgins! What a guy. I think I love Ted.
Oh yeah.
I like Roy.
Oh,
Roy King.
Roy. You would like Roy. Mint chocolate.
And the very last question.
What motivated you to keep going to be the best?
Yeah. I'm not there ever.
So I'm not motivated by results, goals, things like that. Honestly, I started playing the game because I loved it. My brother, he's 3 years older than me, and he played, and I idolized him. That's why I played. My parents played, my cousins played, and to this day, I still play just because I love it, and that's what motivates me. I don't think I've had a real job my whole life because I get to play this wonderful sport. So it's still the love of the game, always has been.
Good answer.
Great questions, everybody. And I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but this is the end of our panel. So Christine Sinclair, Quinn, Janine Becky, Melissa Tancredi, thank you for representing our country.
Buddy.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much, ladies, and thank you everyone for joining us for the 2023 Allstate Soccer Show. It was an absolute pleasure, and we were excited to see the growth of soccer in Alberta. Thank you.